last night. Wasn't that a great win for those guys? What a great baseball game. I hope you guys all got to see it. That was really something. So that's why we won today. Way to go, Scott. Got us all charged up. This was a really good game for us today, and we were really challenged, and we started so poorly both sides of the ball, and then it took us some time to get going, and but what happened today was really, hopefully, really important for us. Is we talked about how we were going to keep hanging no matter what happened. We were going to keep hanging and keep hanging. It didn't matter what the game felt like or looked like, and we needed every bit of it before it was over. And so the span in the middle of the game, when the offense scored 4 out of 5 times, the defense went 8 straight drives without giving up a point. That's when the game was controlled for us and turned around, and fortunately we were able to take advantage of that. So it's always fun to come down here too and play. You know, we're not in San Francisco, but it's still, they call them San Francisco Niners, and so it's always fun to get that done too.
What changed for you guys on defense? I mean, there's a lot of talk all week about trying to get some things fixed. What did you see different?
We played really we played really complimentary ball with Russian coverage, and that's why we were 2 for 14 on third down. It's a huge stat for us, a huge stat and a huge turnaround, and one that was really, that's the story of the game. And we've seen last week, it's the story in the opposite direction, but this was the story of the game. And guys came through. We had breakups, we had rushes, we had sacks, we had everything that it took to get that done. Balls knocked down, and that's the factor in the game. Now, I don't want to discount this because I thought Russ was spectacular today. I thought in this attempt, it was so hard early, and he just stayed the course, stayed with it, and we really kind of recaptured a chance at this game when you wouldn't think there was any way. It just didn't look like it was going to happen. And he did a marvelous job at the line of scrimmage in this game, again on the road with the crowd going crazy and all that. We benefited from stuff that he was able to do. And then there was just a couple plays that were just crazy. The scramble for the touchdown was great. The other spin scramble, I mean, that's just as good as you can get for Russ and for Freddie to come through and make the catch down there. So also thought that Alex Collins really gave us a spark today. He looked really good, and his touchdown run was a special run. It's a beautiful run. We couldn't see it as good until we got to look on the scoreboard, but he had a really good day in complimenting with Chris, and so we were able to run the ball enough so that we could play off it and take advantage. DK and Tyler both had four or five catches, whatever it was, and they came through in important times. And so anyway, I'm so proud of these guys, the way they hung in there and came back and put the game back in order, and then stayed in one thing. And it's a beautiful job.
Throw to Swain for the touchdown.
Yeah. Well, that was perfect. It was a perfect throw in the corner, and Freddie, converted it to a great play. But come on, I think he spun out on one of them, and then there's Bosa, and then he makes him whatever. It was crazy, and just the way we love to see Russ play and do his thing.
There's a lot of talk this week about how he's never lost 3 in a row, and he still hasn't.
He never lost 3 in a row. Yeah, that's a really good thing. It was in the back of somebody's mind as well. So I was really glad that we were able to do this today.
What are your impressions of Trey Lance? I mean, you had to come in for Garoppolo, and obviously, rookie guy. And what were your impressions of him?
He was really resourceful. He did a good job running. Was tough. Yeah, we hit him pretty good on a couple of those runs, and he bounced back. He's a good physical football player, and I'm sure that they they wanted to get him to do all of the things that he does. He made a huge touchdown pass. We made a big mistake, but still he took advantage of it, and so I thought he did well. He was hard to deal with.
Seemed like the offensive line those first 5 drives just couldn't get anything going, run over pass blocking. What changed?
Yeah, it's really the same plays that we call later on in the game, and we were able to execute better. And I think as the game got going, our guys got a better feel, and Russ got a better feel for what he needed to do. That's what I'm telling you. And he won't tell you what he's doing, or I'll turn the mic off. But he had really good control as the game got going, and he was able to make calls that helped us, and so he put us in the best positions at times, and the guys really came through and took advantage of that. And that's all part of the system, but it was really well orchestrated, and when we really needed it, and so.
What led you to go more dime and how Ryan Neal fit in and what he did?
Well, yeah, thanks for bringing it up. Ryan seemed to have a great game today, and that was, it's just something, looking at their tight end, how good he was. We just thought that the matchup might work out for us and help us a little bit, and he had a beautiful game. I don't know how many wins, but I thought he had some breakups on third downs that were really, huge for the game.
What's he brought you? He's kind of been on the fringes of the lineup and the roster, and yet he still played.
I think Ryan is really one of the classic guys in the years that we've been here that comes out of kind of nowhere. He was kicked around a little bit, and I think we got him from Atlanta. He was a corner at the time, I think, when we were looking at the film, and then we brought him in here, and he kind of hung in there and was able to play a little safety from his background, a little corner, back and forth. But he's very much like Deshaun Shedd, and kind of played a role like that. But the reason I'm liking talking about him is because of him. He is a great competitor. He's a great practice player. He's a great inspiration to these guys. They love everything about the guy because he's so tough and he cares so much. It's so important to him. He gives you everything he's got. I mean, he did a really good job for us a year ago, in filling in for Jamal, and so this is his best chance today. And sure enough, he came through again. And to me, he's like he's like Doug and Jermaine and those guys that kind of came out, even Sherman came out of nowhere, as a 5th round pick. Those guys that were kind of seemed to be overlooked, but they just had the chip on their shoulder, and that he is right in there. And guys like that that's the heart and soul what this program has always been. And so I'm thrilled to have a chance to talk about him. Thanks.
What do you think of Sydney in the corners?
We made one huge error, obviously, and it was just a simple thing. It was a really bad mistake that gives them a huge touchdown play. But other than that, I thought they played pretty good, and we were around the ball a lot today. And I gotta see the film, but I thought they hung in there pretty well.
Why did you decide to go with Sydney in this game?
I just thought it was time. I think you asked 4 straight weeks or 3 straight weeks, and so I thought, well, okay, but it does take us time to gain the access to the guy. You got to know that he knows what's going on, across the board. And I mean, look what happened. We made a big error today too, and so we try to avoid that by buying time. And so, but we grabbed him so that he would play, and we want to see what he would do. And so we took a shot at it. And I like the thought of putting DJ back on the other side where he played well last year, and so there'll be a lot more that you guys will write about this stuff over time. It's a work in progress, and it takes time to get this stuff right, and hopefully, it's not too late.
Just before the first half ended, you feel like you guys were able to see the momentum at that point and carry it over to the second
It totally
half?
felt like that, yeah, because we had been playing well on defense. It really did feel like that. It's kind of like we just needed something, to hang our hat on, and so we got 7. We had the ball back again with 30-something seconds left, and we're thinking about should we go, here. But it felt good to be, in that we had come back that far. I didn't want to give them any new momentum, and because we could feel that it had turned, and so we were hoping, and our guys came through. I don't have anything on Cedric.
Wanted to see Jake late towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't have anything on that. I don't know.
Oh, you mean Jake went in?
Yeah.
No, just Cedric hadn't been playing a month, so to get him on the field, that we had planned to have the rotation. We were going to play Jamarco today, and Jamarco came up sick again, and couldn't go, and so that's where Cedric got the nod, and so Jake got a little bit of playtime. That's all it was.
What's going on with Jamar? That's 2 straight. Is it the
I
same
know.
thing?
We don't know. We don't know what's going on because he was sick right at the end of the week last week. Not COVID sick, but just some kind of something or other. I don't know. Some kind of that was making him like sick to his stomach and throwing up and all that kind of stuff. So he was ill and it kicked in again yesterday and today. So so we couldn't play him.
Coverage teams were flying downfield. It wasn't just a fumble on the kickoff.
Yeah.
Hit was.
Yeah, that was a stupendous hit. One of the things we talked about in the locker room with the team was the kickoff team and how they set tempo. These guys are really good. They're really good at it, and they've been vicious on their hits. Almost every game we've been able to do that. And it's really kind of a tempo setter for us. And Ballure in the middle of it, Cody, Penny Hart is part of that. Ryan Neal, those guys, they're just really, really intent on being great at what they're doing. And I think Izzo and Tracy Smith are doing a great job. They're doing a great job with those guys.
How does Alex look different now compared to when you first had him?
When Alex came into the league, he thought he needed to be bigger, and he was like 219 or 20 or something like that. It just didn't suit him. He's got great feet and he's got great quickness, and that's how he made all those yards in college. And he thought, going to the league, I get bigger, and he just didn't look as good. And so when he came back to us, the first time he came back, everyone, holy cow, no wonder he gained a bunch of yards at the Ravens. He just looked better. He looked niftier and the kind of player that our guys had seen in college, But sometimes guys make that error, and they think, as NFL, I got to get huge. I don't know that he thought that, but he did that, and so that's what's different. He's way trimmer and more fit, and he's got marvelous instincts as a runner.
How did DK and Tyler make it through the game?
They did. They made it through, and both those guys. There were some question marks, and I'm really proud of those guys for. They never doubted for a second, never gave us any inclination that they weren't going to play, and those guys continue to do great stuff.
Tell that having a more serious vibe around the team during the week made a difference today?
Yeah. I think it was a bit of a wake up call, and we've been pushing and going and expectations so darn high and all of that for the whole time we've been together, and I think we got faced with it, that it wasn't happening, like we thought, and everybody had to just dig in a little bit more, do a little bit righter, and make sure that we don't make errors, and we're really, really good. Just try to get a little bit better, because we've been close, and so this is just one step, but and we got a ways to go. We got a ways to continue to get better, and you guys have asked, last year when it turned around, what happened, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you got to get the right mentality. Everything's got to fit together right, and you got to have the right pain sometimes too to share. And it was, I don't know. That's the pain story of this season. I would wish it would be, but it made a difference. And I thought our guys really put it together well. And I go over to Bobby and Dwayne and Russ. Those guys really would not let it continue, and so. Jamal, those guys really did a nice job.
It seemed like Quandre was kind of cleaning up a lot of stuff on the back end, just finishing plays.
Yeah, he had a beautiful interception today. That was a great play for us, and we've been waiting for that. He's been back there hanging and looking, and he finally got a great one and took advantage of it.
How's Carlos?
He hurt his toe. He got his toe jammed or something a couple times.
The toe?
Yes.
So did Gerald not test negative at all during the weekend?
As far as I know, I didn't hear today. Yesterday, I was checking every time, so I was trying. We were going to send a jet for him if we had to, but couldn't make it. So we'll see what happens. He's got to test negative 2 days in a row and show that he's back. So we all should be curious about. This is a good test case to see how the vaccines work and see if he can get a good response right here and faster than 10 days. We'll see what happens.
Is he still feeling okay?
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him in 2 days, so I don't know anything different. But I don't think he's going to get worse. I think he's going the other way.
We know that you guys test an extra day. Which is the one that does the NFL mandate you test on Monday or Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they make us test on Monday or that we have any day we can test on. We can pick a day. I'm saying it again. The fact that we tested on Wednesday saved us. It saved us, and he would have been on this trip. He would have played in this game, and all of that exposure would have taken place if we didn't test on Wednesday. So, I'm thrilled that we understand that, and we made the step to do it. And the one case we've had in 18 months or whatever, we got saved because of the discipline of all that, and it worked. So, hopefully we get him back. No, you're not up now. You're not ready. Not yet. He's competing. He didn't want to be there. He wants to fight his way back up, and I told him he's got a chance to do that. Well, I'm counting on that. Okay. DK, you're up.